We're back. That's how we do, baby. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Let's Talk Raptors. I'm your host, Sham, my channel where you get reviews, analysis, predictions, and hot takes on all things Raptors as well as some NBA. So, we finally got everybody back except for Scotty Barnes, but good enough, man. And we played the Clippers today. So, without further ado, let's talk Raptors versus Clippers, at which we call Scotiabank Arena, but seemed like a ghost town today. So, again, because of the COVID protocols and everything like that, the Raptors did not have all of their fans. I think we were restricted to about 1,000 fans, so it seemed pretty dead in the arena. But the Raptors had everybody back, and it seemed like we were happy about it, and we came out with energy. And we took about a 12-point or a 14-point lead by the mid-first quarter, and nailing three-pointers. Freddie's nailing on Pascal, Gary Trent. Kem Birch is doing dirty to Serge Ibaka in the paint. Welcome back, Serge Ibaka, but you were playing against us, so screw you today. And the Raptors eventually take a lead, but then comes in the bench. And the bench did an okay job, but they just didn't have it together. I guess it's because they're coming in and out of the lineups, starting lineup, playing different roles, and they just can't get accumulated into what their role is on the team. So they kind of struggled, and they let the Clippers back into the game. And I don't know what the hell Reggie Jackson's been eating since last year, but he's doing damn good. And then this Coffee kid, undrafted, took our ass to the line as well. So the Raptors kind of just, the Clippers called back in. The Raptors starters come back in second quarter. They eventually, stop the bleeding a little bit. We start the third quarter, and then the Raptors are back into their old habit of not having that rhythm, missing, 3-point shots, whereas the Clippers are nailing 3-pointers, and the Raptors are just struggling to get a shot, and it's like 58-54 at the start of the third quarter. And that's when Gary Trent Jr., he had a horrible game in regards to shooting, but he kind of gave us that, when we get that cover on top of the basket, he broke that cover for us. He came into like a mid-range right on top of the free throw line and nails the two-pointer, which puts us back into the game with 56-58. And then it goes back and forth. I think at one point in the early fourth quarter, the Clippers had about an 8-point lead going. I think it was around the 9-minute mark. And then OG Anunoby just woke up, man. Guy comes down, nails a three-pointer, nails a mid-ranger, then nails another three-pointer. He scored like 8 points within about a minute or two, puts the Raptors back up by 2. But then, game goes back and forth. And then we get to about the 2-minute mark, and that's where everything becomes interesting. And it seems like in the fourth quarter, the Raptors are back to the same energies, the same oomph they brought in at the start of the game. And the defense locks in. Reggie Jackson and all of these guys that were making those shots in the past aren't making them anymore. And, Siakam turns it on. He's getting to the rim, spin moves, getting to the bucket really well, finishing really well. Freddie's nailing his three-pointers. And the Raptors eventually climb back in. And I think it's 2 minutes left. The Freddie puts us up by, I think it was 4 at that point. And then the Raptors, come out. The Clippers come out. And before that, we have a breakdown in the play. They nail a two-pointer, and they're down by, I think, 2 at that point. Where then we go to the other side, and comes the highlight play of the game, number 1, actually, where, Pascal sets the screen on, I think it was Serge or Morris, and fakes the screen, turns, Freddie bounce passes it to Pascal at the paint, and Pascal does a two-hand clutch, bam, right in the bucket and puts us up by 4. It's 109-105 at that point. And it's just like in the face. And Coffee had to move out of the way because if he would have stayed there, he would have been posterized on his ass. But then the Clippers call a timeout. They come out. And then, Travis Mann hits this crazy-ass three-point shot on top over, I think it was Freddie at that point. And they're down only by 1. And then Freddie comes from the other side. He takes Serge Ibaka at the top of the key. He does his dribble, gets by him, shoots, gets for a layup. We're up by 3 at that point. We get a defensive stop on the other side, and we come back down. But it's still like, about a minute left. 48 seconds or so left. Then Freddie and Pascal are playing off of each other so well. And then comes the highlight play of number 2, which is Pascal brings the ball up. He has a defender on him. Freddie does fakes a screen, gets to the other side. Pascal passes it to him. Freddie shoots it, and it is swoosh. And we're up by game's ice. We're up by 6 with 24 seconds left on the clock, and the Raptors win it. The Raptors end the year damn well, man. We finish it the way we should have finished it, which is by winning the game. And overall, guys, the key takeaways from this game, number 1, is when we have our squad, we're always in the game, right? The OG had, what did he have? He had 26 points, 6 rebounds today. Pascal had 25 points, 19 rebounds. Freddie VanVleet had 31 points and 9 assists. Gary Trent had 10 points, but timely buckets when we needed them. So it seems like when we have our guys together, and especially with Kem Birch in the starting lineup, we're really good, and we're a team to be reckoning with. And it seems like our starters had that mentality today, at least Pascal and Freddie did, that they didn't want to give up this game. And they came out in the fourth quarter and they showed out, all 3 of them, Freddie, OG, and Pascal. And they won us the game. So it's really good. And I think because the bench is currently struggling, which is my key takeaway number 2, that the bench isn't doing that well. Maybe it's because they haven't been consistent in their role, and I get it. But I think Scotty coming off to the bench will give us a lot of boost for our bench unit. With Chris Boucher is playing better now, but again, I still stick by it. Trade his ass, get something better for him, or get more younger asset for him. That's just me. Champagny seems to be a good piece off the bench, man. In the fourth quarter, he came in and he gave us that energy, and that's kind of led to all of the guys getting into the more of a rhythm in the game, and that's how we got back in. And with Scotty, those 3 guys coming off the bench with Precious Achiuwa and a guard, whether it's Fred VanVleet, whether it's Malachi, whether it's Delano Banton, still gives us a offensive, oomph, as well as it allows Scotty to be the primary offensive weapon. So that would help us out on the offensive end, which has been the struggle for the Raptors coming off the bench. The third key takeaway, guys, I have is Gary Trent Jr. I think even though he's kind of like not has been efficient, which is understandable. He's a rhythm shooter, and he was out on COVID protocol. But I think he should be the guy who should be getting the ball in the time that we need a bucket. Now, if you need a bucket underneath the bucket, it should be OG or Pascal. But if we need someone to create a bucket for us, that is Gary Trent Jr. The way this kid moves on the floor, he's so smooth. He can get to the mid-range. He can shoot the 3-pointer. He can get to the bucket. His getting to the bucket is a little bit weak, but his mid-range is butter, man. And he's able to create that space off of his defender. And with the height, and with the move, with the dribble, with everything, he should be the guy who should take the big shots. At least that is my opinion. I know Freddie and Pascal have been there, but they're so good at getting us close enough that they haven't been that good at finishing it. So let somebody else finish it. The guy like Gary Trent, who is completely fearless and doesn't give a shit, is the guy we should go with. So those are my 3 key takeaways for this game, guys. In regards to and then there was one more highlight play which was crazy. Freddie gets the rebound, drives it to the bucket. There's four Clippers on him. He cuts through one of them, goes around Terrace Man, bodies up, I think it was Morris or Ibaka, and lays it up and ties the game at 77-77 in the third quarter. It was freaking cool, man. But the MVP for this game, I got to give it to Pascal Siakam, bro. 25 points, 19 rebounds is nuts. And he did what he needed to do as an all-star at the end, finishing stretch of this game. It was crazy. And he had 7 assists to top that shit off, man. It is nuts. And he's finally playing like the all-star we know, and he's gonna be, I hope he can be an all-star, even though he's been injured most of the time. But one of these guys has to be an all-star, which is either Freddie or Pascal. Guys, vote for them. But that's all I have for you guys for this video. We play the New York Knicks on Sunday. Hopefully we beat their ass and move up in the standings, and I will see you guys after that game. Enjoy your New Year's, guys.